Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sagittarius September through October 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And what does that mean? That means that in today's reading, we are going to be taking a look at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome so that you can better engage with your unique spirit, that part of ourselves that rises up and out to meet the challenges we are faced with. And this is so that you can better unlock and experience the heroic capabilities that lie within you so that you can better understand your purpose, see your personal path, and get closer to those feelings of emotional fulfillment that come when you see where you fit, when you get to know where can you, as a unique individual, be of service to the greater collective experience. So let's see here, Sagittarius. That's a little too many. I'm pulling your initial cards here to take a look at the energy you're bringing into this month and into next month. We're almost at the end here, moving into October. What's going on external to you, and then the energy that's underlying it here. So what you're unlocking about yourself. And then we'll go further into the actual challenge, the blocks you're facing, and advice from Spirit as to how to overcome it. So you have the Ace of Pentacles here, which is very interesting with the Ace of Cups. So Ace of Pentacles in your internal energy, Ace of Cups in your external energy. This is a very positive combination going on here, one of which is within yourself, there is an opportunity that is kind of a seed, if you will, lying within that's waiting to be planted, waiting to see where you can make use of this. Now, this could be an idea, maybe as to how to make more money. It could be a gift even. Maybe you were gifted with some extra time in your schedule, because pentacles, refer to our physical experience. This is time, energy, money, anything that we can use to invest, to create something in the physical world. And so there's an element here with this coming up internally that there's something within you or something that you have specifically that you're realizing you can maybe grow into something bigger. With the Ace of Cups in your external environment, which is the chalice that holds basically unconditional, the potential for true unconditional love, but it's just love in general. And with that being out here, when you think about planting a seed in the ground, well, you have to water it and tend to it and be able to give it the nutrients and the things that it needs to be able to see it sprout. And so with the Ace of Cups coming in here, there is this element of love from the divine, love from others around you, that there's just a very nurturing environment in this time for you to be able to plant this thing that's within you, whether it is, again, maybe you were gifted with time and you realize now that you can put that time towards maybe developing a skill that you have recently gotten in touch with again within yourself. Or maybe this is the ability to go out and maybe connect with other people. Maybe you are realizing that it's time to go back out into the dating world and you're taking yourself as the seed to kind of plant it out there to see what you can attract. But what you're unlocking about yourself really this month is with the Page of Pentacles coming in here, you're learning about how to kind of take this part of yourself, this little seed, and you're gathering information for it. You're learning to get into this kind of suspended childlike state of curiosity to go out there and say, it almost like test the waters. Okay, I have this part of myself that I want to bring out, or I have this idea that I'd like to progress, and now I'm going to take that class that's going to allow me to work with this part of myself. It could almost be, and again, this could be in a very specific level, like all of a sudden you realize, wow, I have some free time. I've always wanted to learn how to sew, and I'm going to go out now and see if there's any places within my immediate area where sewing classes are taught, and I'm going to go ahead and just sign myself up and see where that goes. And it could just be that you really want to get back in touch with an aspect of your creativity, and that's the seed you're planting. Is I'm going to just pursue this one aspect of my creativity that I've always wanted to pursue. But the gift that you have, the Ace of Pentacles, the potential, is now a time period in your schedule which has been freed up. So there's something along the lines here that within you there's been a change. Again, a change in what you have physically as a resource. And there's been a little gift of something that now you can go out and play with. And with this being underplayed by or beneath it with the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, I think for some of you at one point there might have been an element where with your home environment, because the Four of Pentacles can refer to a commitment, it could be a marriage, this could be again a home environment, and you might have been juggling that with maybe work or something else, and it had distracted you for a while, and now you're realizing, there's some aspect of myself that I'm really seeing as a kind of the golden ticket. I'm seeing as that golden coin, and I want to put down, instead of just juggling multiple things, and this can be like truly just juggling the day-to-day. This is where you're not really prioritizing any one specific thing. It's just, okay, got to take care of the family, got to go to work, got to go to bed, got to get up, clean the house, that kind of thing. Where this is really stating that there's something within you now that you'd like to pursue, that you'd like to focus on. And I think you've learned, probably coming into this time period, you've been sitting with the energy of I want to focus on me. That's really what's coming through Sagittarius. There's this energy of I really want to focus on me. I don't want to get lost in the day-to-day anymore. I really want to be able to bring some aspect of myself that helps anchor me into my everyday experience. It kind of gets me to go back out there again and kind of see the world with fresh eyes. And this literally could be signing up for a class to learn how to do something. It could be going to a networking group and just to see if, sharing your interests with other people, what that will bring about. This could be anything that would allow you to kind of play with this aspect of yourself in your external environment, but also be able to kind of build on it. So this is often the energy of gathering more information, going out there and kind of getting the details in place and saying, okay, if I'm going to go out there and I want to start, maybe expanding on my creativity, or I want to start dedicating more time to me time. What part of myself do I want to focus on? What part of myself do I want to really grow now? And the energy here is very supportive of that. So really, in this time period, Sagittarius, whatever comes up for you that you would really like to, that's kind of just been maybe sitting there and you keep kind of thinking about it, like, geez, I went hiking last week with a bunch of people for the first time in a long time, and I realized, wow, I really love the outdoors, and I haven't been able to do that, and it inspired me, and now I really want to be able to build that in. I want to continue to explore that avenue, and that maybe that looks like every Saturday morning now you join a local meetup group and you guys go for a hike in a different location. And you're able to focus on just you at that time. There's no juggling. There's nobody else in the picture. It's just for you. So, really, if you have to get a little selfish, Sagittarius, it's okay. It's okay. So we have the Five of Pentacles as your main point of challenge. And yeah, that makes sense. The Five of Pentacles is one where we are in that, limiting mindset, where we think if we go and we try to plant the seed, or we try to, or maybe it's like, again, it's that feeling of I really want to do something with this part of myself. But you're like, but yeah, if I do, it's probably going to take too much money or too much time or too much energy. And I'm going to be out in the cold if I do that. Or it's going to, this would be like saying, well, I really want to take that sewing class, but it's, $200 plus the cost of the material. And if I follow that, then that's, the money that normally would go to groceries for that week. And if I try to do that, my family might be upset and I can't afford that. And right after that, we have the Princess of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles again coming in. And it's saying, no, it's time to get curious. It's time to see how, if you can get past the limiting mindset. I think for some of you, you've been in this kind of suspended state of juggling for so long, juggling just the day-to-day tasks or the things you have to do to kind of just keep everything going, that when you stop and you think about what you are actually bringing to that situation, that it's that element of if I do kind of drop one ball, I drop one pentacle, and I do focus on the one that I really am interested in. Because it's interesting. It's almost like in this picture, and I don't always see that, but I'm seeing it today. It looks like the individual, right, is looking kind of almost like forlornly at one of these versus the other. And it's almost like, gosh, I would rather do that than this. It's like saying, I know I'm the one that has to clean the house, but I would really love to take this online class. And instead of vacuuming right now, I would love to have that time to just take that online class. And that might mean that, yeah, you have to pay for that online class, or that that the house goes dirty for a week this week because you're dedicating your time to that. But there's an element here of, with Spirit coming in and saying, get into the curious mindset of maybe where you think you've been limited or where you think the resources aren't going to be there, that when you actually start to pursue it, something else could come in. Because again, we're in the state of suspended curiosity. So we don't really know what is actually going to come from this pentacle within ourselves. None of us, and many people can say that they see the future, and some people do. But in reality, or not in reality, let's say in my perspective, it's at any given time, because of our free will, we can change the trajectory of our life experience. And so, yeah, at one point, maybe you had tried to follow some aspect of yourself and it hadn't worked out. And now you have a chance to kind of look at that again. But you don't know enough about this part of yourself to maybe at this point be able to project into the future that it's going to be a failure, or that it's going to cost X amount of money, or that the people, if they know that you really want to focus on this over this, are going to kind of like put you out in the cold if they discover this part of you. It's instead saying, get into that curious mindset of, why is this coming up for me now? Why do I feel like this is kind of like my golden ticket? And why do I want to pursue it? And what is that going to really bring for me in my experience? How is that going to heighten and engage me with my experience, instead of kind of being, the clown over here? And I don't want to call you guys clowns, obviously, but that's kind of what this person is. It's like they're kind of like the fool juggling. Instead of saying that, why don't you take a look and see if maybe there's a new way to really engage yourself with your experience, and not to the expense of others or a work environment. Because at the heart of your reading, we have Four of Wands. Here it is again. You have all of this double confirmation. In fact, I would not be surprised if the Two of Coins comes up as your last point of challenge here. The Four of Wands, again, this is a firm foundation. This is what Spirit's asking you to embrace. Asking you to embrace a firm foundation that you have within your life. Something that has been built from a place of passion. And I think there's some aspect of yourself, because, we can look at the firm foundations as a work environment. Maybe you've been very good at that aspect of your experience. People have celebrated you for, the level of professional accreditation you have, or maybe this is something where you've built a business and you have a very strong, firm foundation in that business, or maybe this is in your home life. Maybe you really have a strong, firm foundation. You were able to buy the home, you were able to, have that personal side of your life very, very kind of buttoned up. But there's something here, but it always denotes with the Four of Wands that it started from a place of passion, that you were taking action because it was part of a dream that you wanted to build and have celebrated with others. That this was, you maybe you always wanted to have the home with the significant other and the children, or maybe you always wanted to have that successful business and be the business owner. And so you took steps to put that into place. And for some of you, it's really taking a look at what is that firm foundation in your life, and maybe where have you gotten distracted from appreciating it and being able to now maybe reinvest in it. So I'm going to see where it comes out in the last 2 cards. But that's kind of what I'm seeing here. There's almost like this element of you started something. Again, maybe you bought the house and you were so excited and you're like, yeah, here I go. On my way. On my way to the, achieving the home in the suburbs with the romantic significant partner. Sorry, guys. I can't talk all of a sudden, and then suddenly, this is a lot of cards. That's too many cards. You can just get 2 or 3 more, please. But there's this element of, okay, we'll just go, that Ace of Swords. I saw that earlier, needed to come out. Empress. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, okay. So, there is something here around, I think for some of you, you were really focused on building something. This could even be where maybe you went to school for something. You were like, I am going to, go back and get my master's degree, and I'm going to level up, and this is going to be awesome. I'm going to set the foundation for me to be able to, go into this level of a certain field or industry, or same thing with, again, your personal life, and that you had this vision and you built a foundation for it. You took action on it. You worked hard, you saved the money and you bought the house, or you worked hard and you saved the money and you went back to school, or you worked hard and you started the business. Whatever it was, there's something here where the day-to-day got in the way. And you started to just kind of, you got to that point of the firm foundation. You were like, yay, I did it. I graduated, or yay, I did it. Here's my business, or yay, I did it. And, here's the start of my new family life. And then you lost sight of it. And I think for some of you, there's this element of kind of a limiting mindset that got in the way of, like, maybe you started the business and it just became almost more of like, you lost the passion for it. You lost the sight of why you originally wanted to start this business. It wasn't just to make money. It wasn't just to, go into, work every day just to go to work. It was obviously you built it around something that you have been passionate about, and this is where we can get too lost in kind of the mundane. Or you went back to school and you were like, oh my gosh, I finally graduated. I can't wait to get into this work. It's like, oh, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden you're in the reality of the day-to-day of that. And you're like, well, gosh, I don't really like being a lawyer. Or I really wanted to be a lawyer, but I didn't want to do this type of law. Or I didn't want to, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to work with children, but I didn't actually realize it was going to look like this, and that I was going to be stuck doing more administrative stuff than actually being hands-on with the kids, or something along those lines. Something got in the way and it became tedious. That thing you had worked for became almost more of like the nuisance in your life. And with the Ace of Swords, this is coming in very strong. This is like the realization, the aha, the like, wait a second, I lost sight of me. I lost sight of why I originally did this. Why did I originally buy this house? Not just so that I could, it wasn't just a good financial investment, or it wasn't just so that I would have a roof over my head, or that I could, drive an easier commute to work. It was because I had hoped that once I had this home, and I got it all decorated and beautiful, that I would attract the perfect partner and we would end up growing a family. And that's why I bought a home that had 4 bedrooms instead of 2. There's something along those lines that, but then maybe after you purchase the home, it just became this stress point of, yeah, but now I have to make sure I keep a job that I have X amount of money that comes in. And then you realize all of the scary things that come with maybe owning a home of like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was going to have to spend $5,000 to get a new water heater. Or I didn't realize that, when something happens in the house, I have to take care of it. And then all of a sudden you just got stuck cleaning it and repairing it and having to work overtime to make sure you had enough money to pay the mortgage. There's something here where whatever you were working towards, it just became meh. For a lack of better words. Now, this could also be a relationship. This could be where in your personal life, you worked so hard to build this foundation, maybe with a significant other or a family, and you lost yourself in that. You lost yourself in trying to maintain that. And now there's the clarity coming in. There's the clarity of, as you reconnect to this kind of opportunity seeding within yourself, you're realizing, oh my gosh, where is me in this foundation? And where is my truth? And how can I get back to that? I love that you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. Now, the only thing missing here, which often through omission is actually the real, message, if that makes sense, is there's no Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands, Sagittarius, is your energy. That is fire sign energy. It's our passion. It's connecting to our eternal flame. It's reconnecting with your own personal magic wand, so to speak. That's how I see it. And so there's this element here of the Four of Wands of, where's your wand in this? Where's your spark? Where's your passion? What originally got you to this point, and where can you now go back and say, okay, do I still see an opportunity here? Do I still see a place where I can reinvest myself in this? Can I put extra time back into this and adjust it slightly and be curious to see how that's going to change and grow a current foundation? Because your final point of challenge is the Empress. And the Empress is a lovely energy. This is the realization that we, just like the Empress, can create and birth what we would love to bring into the world. This harnesses the energy of creativity. It harnesses the energy of literally being able to give birth. It speaks to that feeling of you can create for yourself what you want. You don't have to wait for somebody else to bring it towards you. You don't have to. It's almost like getting the clarity on, wait a second, this is what I want to create in my life, and I have the power to do so. Now we have the Five of Wands and the Two of Cups coming in here. So there's an element, a little bit of, there's kind of like a chaotic energy of like you might have to go out there and kind of battle a little bit. Like that's I'm seeing here we're going from the Four of Wands to the Five of Wands. So it's almost like reconnecting with your passion through having to kind of get hands-on again out there. And with Two of Cups, there's this energy I'm seeing that it could mean that for some of you, there's this feeling of kind of getting back to that point of connecting with another, of leaning into the support system that's around you, that, yeah, you might have to, in realizing what you want to create for yourself, kind of get back out there again. You have to take your wand, and it's almost like maybe like if you had a business and the business kind of stagnated or stopped growing and it was just more of like a stressor and you were just kind of juggling the day to day. It's like saying, okay, I have to get back out there and really lean into making connections with people, maybe someone who can actually help me with social media, because I've never been good at social media and I really need to get back out there again and kind of get inspired, and I need to meet somebody who can help me get inspired on that level again. Or this is saying, I need to maybe, let's say you did go back to school to become a teacher or a lawyer or something like this, and you realize like, okay, I started doing it and it just wasn't what I was expecting. It just became like a juggling act and I didn't actually enjoy the day-to-day of what I wanted to do. Well, now I need to go back out there and say, okay, if I still want to, let's say, work with children, or I still want to work in law, where can I test these skills in a new way and start to lean on the support of others, have faith in others around me that I will be supported. And with the Ace of Cups, that does state that this is a new reconnection to love. For some of you, this could be a whole message around reinvesting in pursuing an intimate relationship, and the clarity around that, that is kind of like the missing puzzle piece here for you. Now, for some of you, that's not the case. This could be where it's almost like you're looking for a business partner, and suddenly you're like, whoa, I need to go out there and get help. Or I'm realizing that, I did get the education and that's great, but now I need to see where I can re-engage with my passion. And that might mean that I have to leave the school I've been working at and find a new avenue or outlet to test where my skill set can appropriately find an outlet that will continue for me to grow on the foundation I've already built. Maybe like this type of law doesn't work for me, but maybe this other type does. And so this is a very clear message of saying you can still create for yourself what you want. Don't get tied up in the dollar amount. This is like saying like you wanted to go back to school to be a lawyer and now you have all of this law debt and you're like, but I hate being this corporate lawyer. It's just me looking at endless pieces of paper and I thought I was going to be helping people. And it's saying, well, don't sit here and think that just because you don't like this one sector of law that you have to literally kind of be out in the cold with the whole, all the years you invested going to law school, all the money, the debt you've incurred. It's saying, why don't we just put that aside and realize where can you start? What's that little seed within you that you want to pursue, that you want to bring out, that you can reinvest? And maybe this is time for you to start to talk with other people to say, I don't like this avenue of law. Where else can I get into this skill set? And yeah, maybe it does mean that you have to take a pay cut. Maybe being a corporate lawyer is able to cover all of your bills, but you really want to go into being, somebody who works with nonprofits, or you want to be somebody who helps, single parents with, protecting the rights of their children, something along the social work, something along the lines in that realm that might see you take a massive pay cut. And this is saying that in reconnecting with your passion through that and kind of leaning on the support of others to help you through this process, you have a lot more to gain because you do have that foundation to build on. You don't have to kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's just about reconnecting to your flame. What lights your flame? What is missing right now from your life where you feel like I'm not connecting as me? And it's time to kind of get back into this powerhouse energy of, I got to get back out there. And again, if this is about a relationship, there's this beautiful element of saying, yeah, this is a great time to get back out into the dating world and to reconnect with others. It's almost like the outside world is saying like, yeah, come on out. Everybody's ready to meet you. And to really keep in mind that sometimes this type of, kind of innocent, optimistic curiosity energy is all you need. Sagittarius, I didn't even think about this, but you are the sign that your motto is I seek. And your whole kind of spiritual life's mission when you have Sagittarius as a main placement in your life is that you're there to seek the truth. So you are continually looking for the Ace of Swords, the truth within any situation for yourself, but also for the greater collective. So you're looking for those kind of truths that go beyond just the single perspective of the individual. You're looking for the truths that connect all of that. So you're getting closer and closer to source spirit. And what is the truth of that? And that's kind of the energy of the Page of Pentacles. Somebody who's ready to go back out and find the truth, to see the truth, and to be able to build on that and to disseminate it. It's almost like being able to go out and take the seeds, and you're the ones that get to sow the seeds by just going on your kind of grand adventure. Okay. I often like to call Sagittariuses the honeybees of the zodiac, because you really are the ones that, because you have such a social nature and you can easily acclimate to any situation, you're the ones that often can go out and meet new people and see new places. And then you get to bring those stories back and disseminate them to other people. Like, I got to meet this person, or I have this experience when I did this. And you end up kind of, again, like pollinating so many other people's plants. And I don't mean going out, in a sexual way to do that. I mean, in a way that is of, the passionate intellectual quality to our experience. Okay, so we have Judgment coming in for the Five of Coins. Yeah, there's a massive transformation happening at this level for you. I think there's been, a very limiting mindset for quite some time as to an aspect of yourself that you couldn't pursue because of some type of financial or physical instability or insecurity. And Judgment's coming in to say, with the King of Swords. Yeah, King of Swords is very clear-cut energy. This is where somebody's going to kind of state the truth as it is. So there's this feeling coming in of standing in the power of the truth and realizing that it's almost like right here, it's like you can't run from the truth. The King of Swords is going to put his sword down and say, the truth of the matter is you've changed. There's been a massive change in who you are as an individual, and you can't run from that change anymore. It's time for you to go out into the world as this new version of yourself, and to reconnect with the passion that lies within, and to be excited to see what this part of yourself that you've kind of turned away from, where it's ready to bloom again out there. Yeah, we have the Three of Swords with the Page of Pentacles. Yes, so for some of you in the past, when you did try to go out with that kind of hopeful energy, and I think, it can be one of those things where you're sitting here remembering, like, I remember when I first went back to school and I was so hopeful and optimistic, and then it all just fell apart. Then I just got myself into educational debt and I don't even like the job that I'm doing. And so why go out there and do it again? Or same thing with, Three of Swords, again, the ghosts of the pains of the past that haunt us. This can be, I remember when I went out into the dating world and I was so excited about who I was going to find and what I was going to build with this individual, and then it didn't work. And I was left with nothing. I was left with the foundation of a home and a family life that never came to be. So then with this, we have the Fool and the Four of Coins. Yeah, the Fool is the energy of taking the leap. The Four of Coins is the energy of clinging to what little you have. And so there's this push and pull here of you want to take the leap, you want to go into the unknown, you want the fresh start, but you're so preoccupied with the physical of the level of instability you might create for yourself, and the pain of the past coming in to remind you of that you're too scared. You're like, this would be like basically clinging to a home that maybe at one point you had shared with somebody else, and you don't want to give it up because, it meant something to you at some point. But now you're yearning for more. Now you want to go out and maybe live in the city instead of the suburbs, or maybe you want to use the money to do something, to maybe go back to school or to reinvest in your business or something along those lines. And it's like you get excited thinking about it, and then you're like, but no. Like, remember when I didn't even have the money to pay the rent, let alone remember how long I had to save to put the down payment on this house. Like, and this is saying, you can sit with the Four of Coins. This shows you have just enough. You have a little bit of a shelter in the middle of a snowstorm. But is just enough really enough? And I think for some of you, you're realizing it's not. That it's time to take the just enough and add in whatever little inspiration or this little extra something that you have, and it's time to take it up a notch, but not to the Five of Pentacles. Because when you think about adding the Ace of Pentacles to the Four of Pentacles, well, then you get the Five of Pentacles, where it's like, but then I'm going to lose everything. If I try to go for this opportunity, or I try to, go back to school, or I try to go back out into the dating world, I might lose everything again. There's an again coming through with the Three of Swords. And this is saying you don't necessarily have to throw away the initial foundation. You just have to approach it now it's almost like getting back out there and going back in time to when you first started building that foundation. That maybe you don't have to sell the house, but maybe you actually don't have to live there either. Maybe you can rent the house and get a little studio in the city. There's something around realizing that you don't have to throw out the initial foundation. It's just like saying, like, you don't have to, maybe you don't love the aspect of teaching you got into, but maybe there's another avenue for you to utilize the education that you have. So yeah, we have the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Interesting, because the Knight of Wands is your card, Sagittarius here. The Knight of Wands is the adventurer that goes out to do what feels good. He holds his wand, his eternal flame present, and he's ready to go on his horse. He's ready to go out for the grand adventure. But the Eight of Swords says, no, you're trapped, you're held. And so for some of you, you feel, I'm getting coming through strongly with this energy, that for some of you, you feel very restricted and held back from going out to kind of follow your bliss because of something here in this foundation. It's almost like that this would be like, I went back to school, I incurred all this debt, and now I just want to go out and have fun, and I want to go out and experience new things, but I have to stay at this dead-end job because I have to pay my student loan debt. Or this is like saying, I purchased this home and I was so excited, but now this home is what's holding me back, the mortgage payment, and I really want to just travel the world, and I don't want to be held back by this anymore. Or this could be where it's actually what's in the home, being held back by your family or a significant other, and that there's something there that you feel like you have to be tied to. But this is, with the clarity coming in, I think you're realizing that maybe where you felt stuck or beholden to it in the past, it's time to realize the truth of the matter is you're not really stuck. There's always a way to change our perspective, to put ourselves back into the Empress position of, I get to create for myself what I would like to experience. Stepping into that true divine feminine energy of being able to receive and then utilize what you have in your experience to create from that place. So we have Nine of Wands, with the sword. The Nine of Wands can be a victim mindset. It's like, oh my God, it's a weary, wounded warrior. It's somebody who's come so far and you're exhausted and you're like, ugh. And I think for some of you, the clarity is like realizing, wow, I've been kind of in this victim mindset for a long time, and it's time for me to put that down. It's time for me to step back into a place where I can look at this foundation with fresh eyes. Again, reconnect to my passion. This is almost like somebody who's so exhausted. He's surrounded by Nine Wands, but he's so exhausted that he can't even like enjoy his wand because he's too busy like trying to battle and get, and keep going. And I love that the Three of Wands came up specifically in this deck because these two images look so similar, right? These individuals look almost like they're doing the same thing, except the Three of Wands is drawing in opportunities. He's going out there with his wand and taking action and just putting himself again in this kind of suspended place of curiosity, waiting for what's going to come in if he follows his passion. Where this individual is almost in his efforts, if you see, it looks like he's blocking the opportunities from coming in because it's like, ugh, I can't keep doing this. I have to just keep, taking step-by-step action, and I just can't keep doing this. It's just too much. And this is saying, but what if you look at it from a different perspective? What's the truth? Are you a weary, wounded warrior and you're actually pushing away your ability to reconnect with something? Or are you somebody who's going to re-engage with your passion and start to be accepting and open to the opportunities that want to come in for you? Okay, let's get a chance to see here with the Empress. I'm going to pull specifically for the Five of Wands because that's a really important point. Yes, okay, I love it. Queen of Wands coming in there. Queen of Wands is a maternal energy. It's actually, this is pretty much the lower arcana version of the Empress. They both show that, bringing in that maternal energy of dedicated focus to giving birth to what you want to create. But this is also the energy of truly being able to focus on the coin and to say, I know it can take a while for something to grow, but I'm ready to nurture this part of myself again. I see potential in it the way that a parent would see a potential in their child, and I'm willing to invest in that. I'm willing to know that something that's worth it can take time. And that's what's going to give you the courage to go back out into this kind of world of what can seem a little chaotic. The Five of Wands it's almost like you show up excited to, brush off a skill set, and then you get there and you see all these other people, doing the same thing, and some people are better than you and some people are not. But at some point you have to jump in and show you what you can do as well. And it's almost like, okay, you're sitting on the sidelines like, I don't know if I want to do this. This is a lot. And it's just saying, it's not really. That's what's going to allow you to see, like, it almost would be like picking up an instrument you haven't picked up in a long time, and you go out and you start you strum it for the first time, and you're like, oh man, that just feels natural. And then you do it again and you do it, and it's like unlocks that passion, and you realize, wow, this is it. This is why I wanted to, I went back to school to get a musical education career, a degree. I just love playing instruments, and I love sharing this with other people. And that's when you realize you reconnect to the gift that lies within. The Ace, this is the potential for a fresh start. And you realize, okay, this is where I'm going. This is the fresh start that I'm going to choose to nurture. And I'm going to connect that with others. I got into wanting to teach musical education because I wanted to share my passion with others, or I wanted to share my love of life with a partner who would do the same. There's something here around reconnecting to the why by kind of jumping back out there again. Okay, I really like that. All right, let's see if there's anything for the Two of Cups and the Devil. Yeah, I think for some of you, you're holding yourself back through not allowing the depth of connection there, the authentic connection, leaning on others, sharing some aspect of yourself. Because the Devil speaks to where we have held ourselves back, where we have chained ourselves to something, an idea, a limiting mindset, something along those lines where we sit there and say, but no, I can't because. And this is saying, you don't have to hold yourself back from being vulnerable with others. You don't have to hold yourself back from realizing that sometimes it does take we don't live solitary life experiences. We do have life experiences that are meant to be connective, that are meant to, again, be of service to something greater than just your singular life experience. And I do think that, like, right here, this is maybe where either in the past you've had codependent relationships. In the past, you kind of maybe had the mindset of, I want to do it all on my own. In the past, people hurt you, let you down. But this could be even where, it's like almost like the mindset of two things. It can be one way or the other. It could be where you're stuck in this place of, well, I can't enjoy my house if I don't have the other person there with me. Or this could be the other way around of, I can't enjoy it's either I have to be in a relationship to love my life, or I can't ever get to that vulnerable place and be in that, put myself vulnerably in front of another, because then that could ruin my life. It's like one way or the other. This is kind of like at the heart of what's been holding you back. There's something around being vulnerable, connecting authentically with others, allowing others to connect authentically with you, and nurturing some aspect of yourself and giving it credit. seeing it as the potential, seeing your passion, seeing your ability to go out there and share it with others. See that as the opportunity that we need whatever you have to share. The world does. Another person does. You know, when you think about, let's say you want to be a teacher or a lawyer, well, think about all the people, yes, that you can help and affect, but you have to get back in touch with your why, with the passion behind it, and get out of this kind of, I think, limited mindset of, yeah, but now I'm just a slave to something. I'm a slave to the remnant of something that I thought was going to turn out one way and it turned out another. And it's like, no, you have that control. But from a beautiful place of, I like that it's the Empress that came out here and not the Emperor for you, Sagittarius, because the Emperor is very masculine energy. It's like kind of putting your foot down and you're like, that's it. No more, my way or the highway. Empress energy is subtle. It is the energy I do feel of the Three of Wands. It's like allowing your passion to be seen, and, you know, kind of like when you think about a flower and the honeybee, it's being the flower and allowing the bees to come, allowing to see what comes your way, and then capitalizing on that. But you have to first connect. You have to be open. You have to allow others to see that part of yourself and be ready to nurture it. Be ready to show it to others. Be ready to, if you joined a musical group and you said, yeah, I'm going to show everybody how I can play the guitar. Well, at some point you have to step up and start strumming that guitar string. And that can be, going out there and starting to date again. That can be going out there and starting to connect with others who can help show you how to maybe shift in the work world for yourself. Find a new avenue for a skill set you have. But there's this element of authentic connection, of vulnerability. I think that came through, I feel like, last month as well. I'll have to go back and see. I'm curious. Okay, so we're going to pull 3 final cards to get additional advice from Spirit. This first card here is going to be where Spirit would like you to stay open and curious too, so that the miracle, so basically Spirit has an open channel to come in and give you kind of a leg up. I always like to say where the miracle wants to come in, but generally this is that beautiful place where either an opportunity is waiting to come in. It's like that invite to an event where you get to meet that perfect person, or it's the aha moment that comes in out of the blue. So we have hostilities, number 26, breaking down to number 8, and journey, number 2. Yeah, so I think that there's an element here of, where are you holding yourself back from going on this next journey? Where are you, when we think about curiosity, be curious as to where you are falling more into the wounded warrior of the, I have to protect myself, and not in the open, receptive state of, what am I bringing in by sharing authentically what I love about myself? And there's going to be something here about that if you can kind of let your guard down and get more into the place of, I'm on a journey, and I like how she's holding her light, almost like seeing who she can attract to her as she starts to go confidently on this next path. And if you can kind of, it's almost like these are two sides of you. Like, you are preventing her from continuing to cross the bridge. And if you just allow yourself to cross the bridge, what are you going to find on the other side? So really get yourself into that place. I'm going to pull just one piece of advice from Spirit here. Kind of just get an extra message, see if anything else wants to come out. Just pull because it's Canary Spirit, sing your own song, number 12, breaking down to the number 3. Again, the number of creativity, the number of greeting life with the innocence of a child. I love that. There is something here. Sing your own song. Sing your song so you can attract to you the people that you are meant to openly connect with, the people who will support you on this next journey. There really is an emphasis here in connecting to your passion and not being afraid to show it. Even if you have to dust it off a little bit, even if you haven't, been in a romantic relationship for some time and you're like, ugh, I don't know, I don't even know how to be in a relationship. It's like, well, time to dust it off. Same thing with, if you trying to maybe go back out there and, change a job or something along those lines. It's like, realizing that whatever that spark within you initially drew you to what you do, that you can bring that to someplace else as well. It's not like that spark ever truly dies within us. That passion is meant to find its place somewhere. It's meant to be of use and help somewhere. So bring it back out. And by bringing it back out, that's where you get to see what you can do with it. So I love this surrender to divine timing. It says, sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. And now this is really kind of the feeling I was getting back here about kind of revisiting something, revisiting a foundation you had. And so maybe in the past it didn't work out. Maybe, again, you bought the house thinking that, oh, great, within a year I'll meet somebody, and then within another year I'll start a family, and it just didn't work out that way. Now it's saying, well, maybe it wasn't meant to at that time, and it's time to go back out there now with a fresh connection to who you are, with all the things and the lessons learned about yourself that's happened in between there, and give it a go again. Or same thing to say that maybe you thought by this point you were going to, after having this level of education, you were going to be at this pay scale doing X, Y, and Z in whatever industry you went into. And you haven't achieved that yet, and you haven't gotten to that place. And it's saying, well, maybe you weren't meant to. Maybe now you have a stronger skill set. Maybe now you're realizing something within yourself that you wouldn't have realized before. And now it's time to capitalize on that. Now it's time to, maybe segue into another company to see about working for someone else where you can then capitalize on this part of yourself. It might mean that maybe you do have to take a tiny pay cut for a little bit of time, but you have a much larger growth, maybe fast track in front of you to be able to do that. There's something here around kind of going back to something and realizing that, yeah, maybe you couldn't do it then, but the beautiful thing about life is that life changes. And so the circumstances have changed now to allow you, I think, to better connect with who you are. And maybe you weren't able to do that before. And now in this moment, you have an opportunity. And that then a beautiful supportive system to be able to help, really nurture that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull a final card here for the concept of contemplation, and this is where Spirit would like you to stay reflective throughout this month and into October, really to help ground this reading into your everyday experience, to kind of keep you in that place of, okay, yeah, where have I kind of been holding myself back? Where have I not been connecting to my life experience? What part of myself do I want to really be in touch with? And it says, keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. And I like this because in this deck, it's really that reminder of you are not alone. You do have people around you, whether they are truly ancestors or spirit guides, or whether it's actually the people around you who are waiting for you to come out and shine. This could be the group of people you've never met yet, but that you're going to help by finding a new way to utilize your love of teaching others, or your skill set in, the world of law, or the family that's waiting to be birthed by you having the courage to go out and date again. But there's something here around, I like that it's also the keepers of the earth. There's that beautiful feeling of seeing the connectedness of who you are and how it can help actually the greater life experience of everyone on earth by being able to bring out your passion, by being able to share it with others. Again, this can even just be by being able to be a loving, supportive partner for the future person you're going to be with, and how that could elevate them as much as yourself. But there is a beautiful feeling here that the time has come back to re-experience something that you had initially gone after. It had not turned out the way you'd wanted, and now you get a second chance to bring in the right opportunity, a second chance to nurture the part of yourself I think you might have turned your back on a while ago, and you get to bring that back out, appreciate it, and get to step up into your own energy. The energy that who you are is, I always like to call you guys a spiritual adventurer, to go out and enjoy life, do what feels good, but also from the point of view that you get to just experience more in that ever-ending quest for the truth. All right, let's see. I'm going to pull a final card here to get a final message for the overarching spiritual lesson you're learning about yourself this month and next month. And then I'll read the full excerpt from the oracle deck the full excerpt from the book that comes with this oracle deck. So you get an extra message here from someone other than myself. All right, so we have the 6th ray of devotion, number 43. Okay, it says, the 6th ray of devotion bestows the qualities of persistence, unwavering focus, and intensity of feeling. It is a gift of the strength to move mountains with your will for what you love. When the 6th ray of devotion appears, you are being given guidance that even if you do not seem to have much worldly power right now, the power of your beliefs can conquer obstacles. The Archangel Uriel helps you receive the blessing of the 6th ray now. You're receiving a blessing of the 6th ray of devotion. It is serving your soul growth and will help you develop faith in your principles and trust in the power of your beliefs. You'll be able to recognize and appreciate the extraordinary strength within you and realize that you have enough willpower to keep working towards your dream, overcoming any obstacle until you are divinely successful. And that can, be part of the 5 of Wands, that there's this feeling of overcoming the obstacle, of kind of jumping into the fray. And I think many of you are at that point now. The 6th ray reminds you of the power of love, which can conquer anything and everything. Love is an empowering, motivating force far stronger than fear. And I want you guys to remember that, because with the 2 of Cups and the Devil coming up together over here, there is this energy of almost being fearful of that energy of love, of kind of turning your back on it or holding yourself away, feeling like it's not within your reach, that you're almost like chained and it will always be forever away from you. But the Ace of Cups is saying your entire external environment is waiting to love you, waiting to show you the power of love, the power of true, authentic connection. It says love is the foundation of authentic spiritual devotion. Devotion to the divine empowers us to bear burdens, overcome obstacles, and manifest all manner of beautiful visions in a world that may at first assure us that our dream is not possible. The 6th ray blesses you with spiritual stubbornness and sacred rebellion against any odds. The challenge with the 6th ray is to not become so anchored in your beliefs that you become fanatical, judging others because their beliefs are different. You can be unwavering in your adherence to your belief system and yet honor the fact that there are as many paths to divine union as there are people, that the ways the universe calls you home to love are unlimited. If you do not honor this, you may try to pull people from their own path, which can create unnecessary struggle for them and unnecessary karma for you. The best way to honor the blessing and minimize the challenge of this ray is to share your truth with an open heart and an open mind. Share without agenda. For those working with this energy, the power of mind and emotions will come into focus. You may need to channel your emotional and mental power into worthy projects or practice balancing your intensity with lightness of heart and playfulness so you don't become harsh or despairing if things appear not to be working out the way you believe they should. Then your faith can remind you love always finds a way. When Archangel Uriel connects with you, a tremendous power, the power of earth, which I think is interesting with the keepers of the earth, is brought to your aid. Uriel brings healing energy and an ability to cause real effect in the physical world with your mental and emotional power. Remember, you're here to shine your light. Others can choose to use your light to see by until they are ready to discover their own inner light or not. It is not anything you need to worry about. Simply live your truth, trust in your heartfelt beliefs, and devote yourself to love. And that's really what this kind of, when I look at this journey card, that's what she's doing. She's shining her light. She's not afraid. And she, she's not looking for others to sit here and tell her that that light is good. It's her light, and that's all she needs to see by on her journey. It says, finally, as the sixth ray has a special connection to religion and love, you are asked to hold the healing power of love in your heart for all those who are evolving through a life experience involving religious practice. This can help counterbalance the judgment and fear that exists in the hearts of many towards religions that are not their own, or that have been the vehicle through which abuse of has taken place. Religion on this planet at this time needs love, support, and encouragement to evolve, heal, and grow in what ultimately serves divine love. And that last part, you may have someone in your life that is, affected by religion, or it can be that maybe your original efforts were because of that. Maybe you felt that you had to get married in a specific faith or something along those lines. And, or there is an individual in your life that maybe, again, was maybe very devout, or maybe the opposite, and that affected some aspect of your experience. And it's saying that, everybody has their own spiritual needs. And religion helps, just like all kinds of other creative outlets for, let's say, the need to express ourselves creatively can help us. Some people want to paint, some people want to dance and sing or play an instrument, and some people would rather create more on a maybe intangible level. The same thing with religion and with our spiritual need of expression, that some people need the organization, the organized quality of a specific religion to connect themselves to spirit, to source energy. And some people do not. Some people find other ways to connect and bolster their spiritual energy. So just as an extra special message for some of you that are maybe dealing with that in your life, what you need to grow your own spiritual beliefs do not have to follow another's. So if you have the spiritual desire, if something bolsters your spiritual experience, which is what the wands can also speak to, our passion, connecting again to our eternal flame, and through that, to our spirit, that whatever, it can be just taking a walk again in a beautiful setting or out in nature, and that's enough to allow your spirit to feel like you are supported, to feel like you are connected to the earth, that you are connected to others. Now, you don't need to then go ahead and shame anybody who wants to go to church every single Sunday, or, celebrate a high holy holiday, or see life in a specific way simply because they choose to follow an organized religion because it gives them the structure that they need. It's just simply finding what works for you and harnessing that, and then releasing ties and releasing, sometimes we feel held back because of someone else's ideas that we have, their own beliefs that we take for ours. This would be like saying that maybe you don't want to get married, but you would love to be able just to live with somebody. And yet there's guilt associated, and you feel like you can't just like go out and live this kind of free lifestyle. You have to have, you have to get married, and then you have to have children. And it's like something like where maybe that was a part of the religious upbringing. And it's like, yeah, that if that helped whoever, was following that, that's fine. But if that's not what actually makes you feel spiritually connected to your life experience, well, you don't need to stay tied to it. You don't have to live that life experience. The beautiful thing is that we each have our own eternal flame. We each have our own magic wand to which we can take out and create the life for ourselves that actually meets our own spiritual desires. So keep that in mind, Sagittarius, that if there has been that kind of element of maybe feeling guilty about something, or wanting to follow something in your life, and it does stem from a religious factor from somebody else in your life, or you've watched somebody that maybe you've seen almost kind of maybe suffer at the hands of organized religion, let that go. Allow others to kind of have to go through their own spiritual growth and experience, but find yours. Find what lights your fire again. Find what allows you to get that spark illuminated back within yourself, so that you get to see by your light and not by another's. And I will leave you here with that, Sagittarius. I hope you all have a wonderfully illuminating month and a half, and that you really start to step up into the realization of the power that you hold within you that needs to be shared with others, and to not look at it anymore as you have to protect this part of yourself, or that others might use it to their disadvantage or to their advantage, but to your disadvantage. It's saying the world needs this part of yourself. The world needs your passion, what you uniquely bring. And this time you'll find a new avenue, a new outlet for it that's going to be much more in alignment with who you are, and to be supportive of that energy, and ultimately to allow you to build on a foundation that is waiting for you now to continue the growth and evolution of. All right. For anyone who'd like to book a personal reading, you can visit my website by clicking on the link in the description box below. Otherwise, I will see you guys all again in November for your next reading. Bye, Sagittarius.